mouth is on mine, and I don't say no, no, say no to this. No, no, say no to this. No, no, say no to this. No, no, say no to this.
Welcome back folks to From the Deck. In today's video we are going to make another Burning Abyss deck profile because of course why not. With the upcoming release of Phantom Rage, if not that it has already been released because I'm very bad at scheduling videos. There's a couple of cards that I really want to pick up because they are really awesome for Trap Burning Abyss, which is the deck that I'm playing right now. With the only deception that they are secret rares. So you know the cost is going to be a little bit higher, but I think it's totally worth it because these cards are extremely awesome. And also I want to talk about new gold rare leak of Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, because I want to show you that this is much worse than the original gold rare Beatrice that was a secret rare. I mean, just look at this thing. Look at this and tell me you like it. I mean, the border is kinda cool. The border around the card is really cool, it's really awesome. And also I like the star borders that they have, but look at the image itself. As Farfa said on his stream for today, the problem is that they are not covering the clothes of Beatrice with the border. It's just like the start of the dress and then the wings. It really just looks like a bad version of Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. And I prefer a gold secret rare Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal than this thing. It is also not mentioning that the best version of Beatrice is the original one, but I will stick with the gold secret rare Beatrice. But if someone wants to give me one, I will not reject it. But anyways, let's take Beatrice out of here for a little bit. And there we go. And now, the other subject I want to touch is that yes, I want to implement the help of a friend from the past being Shadoll. Shadoll is a very powerful core or a very powerful engine to not be playing it. Now Dogmatica can play like really well Shadoll because a player can search Shadoll Schism and then you can make Winda in your opponent's turn, which is nice, but you have to play Dogmatica or at least Extra Foolish Burial, and that is not optimal. So I found a way to play it a little bit better, and that is with Necrofusion. Also, before we start, please check out the links in the description. There is my social media and there's another content creators that I enjoy and I really like. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed yet. Give it a like and leave a comment of what you want to see next on this channel, please. It really helps all of your contributions. But for now, let's go to the deck profile. So we have our Shining Victories playmat here laid out just to perfectly catch our deck profile, and we have our lantern here. And we are going to start with our Burning Abyss section of the deck. We're going to start with one Barbar. Really useful to burn your opponent out. Simple as that. Then we are playing obviously 2 Seer. Basic Burning Abyss combo. Just retrieve from the graveyard or something. If someone is watching my channel and doesn't know what Seer does, I'm really disappointed in you guys. Then one Galcap. Galcap turns a set spell or trap back to the hand. Really cool. And then we're playing Tulivich in this case, because we want to summon from the hand or pin monsters with effects negated, because that's what all it does. Remember, each Burning Abyss is a body on its own and it can be special summoned by giving up the second effect, which is cool, but it's also a free extender. So every Burning Abyss is a name and an extender. One Unleash, effect Bailer when sent to the graveyard. It's as simple as that. And then we have the 2 copies of Farfa, Mother Branch of the Burning Abyss. Vanish for free, because Vanish for free is cool. Then we have the 2 copies of Graph. Also, if someone doesn't know what graph does at this point, I have no words really for you for that person if you don't know what graph does at this point. Then to Scarm, also same thing with Scarm. Scarm searches grabs summons from the deck, basically that answers summons from the graveyard. And finally, Turwitch. We're not playing Halky Fibrax, of course not, but we are playing Virgil, which is a really good card because we are playing this number of Burning Abyss monsters, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. We are playing 15 Burning Abyss monsters. So we can afford to play Virgil in this deck. And Turwitch can help us doing that if we are not summoning them from a tour guide. Then we are playing support monsters and our little Shadow engine, where we are going to start with 3 tour guide. Summons a fiend from the deck. Really cool. Can be used as a synchro material though, that's sad. Double Fiendish Warrior prevents your fiends from being destroyed by card effects except itself. If they imperm this, you are basically dead. So if you have Graph in your hand and a Burning Abyss plus one of these, I prefer to summon Graph and then Burning Abyss than summoning one of these, just because. Then for our Shadow Engine, I'm going to disappoint you. I don't have the card, so I'm going to proxy it. We're playing one Shadow Beast. When sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can draw one card. And when flip summoned, when flip, sorry, not flip summon. When flipped, you can draw 2 and discard 1. Then we have Shadow Dragon. It doesn't appear here. So if you are skipping this part of the video, I will know. Now Shadow Dragon can destroy a spell of trap when sent to the graveyard. And finally, 3 copies of Shadow Hedgehog. Hedgehog is a level 3, so you can send this with Cherubini. And when sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Shadow monster. So it's a really bit of recursion. And because you need the discard floater for this deck, sending Shadow Hedgehog, adding Shadow Beast is a really cool interaction. Dynamiscus sends as a part of the effect and not as a cost. So you can discard Shadow Beast and draw 1 card for free. For spells and trap formation, we're playing obviously the 3 copies of Tour of Darkness. There's been a little bit of debate lately of whether or not to play this Allure of Darkness in the deck. I play them. I prefer to play this instead of Pole of Desires because I don't want to banish any graph for Seer. Also, I prefer to play this instead of Extravagance because, of course, and with the new pot in our way, it appears that we are not. It appears that we are allowed to choose which cards from the extra deck to banish. So I can play that probably if I can afford it. Then the Phantom Rage support that we have is this proxy card, Triple Warning Point. For those of you who don't know what Warning Point does, it's basically no material plus 4 of Blade on a monster when it's summoned. So when your opponent summons 1 or more monsters, you can activate this. That monster has its effects negated, number 1. It cannot attack, number 2. And it cannot be used as a material for a fusion, synchro, exist, or link summon. So that's the full combo basically. Not once per turn. So it's really awesome. And the fact that you can stop your opponent from playing, it's basically just great. This against the striker is just absolute dead because they summon the Kagari, the whatever you want to call it. Just warning point them, can activate effects, cannot be used as a link material. Sorry too bad for you. And if they summon the token from whatever the quick play spell is, basically they can use that token for anything. So that's really cool. Then continuing with our traps, we're playing triple Paleozoic Dynamiscus. As I said, but Dynamiscus discard as a cost, as an effect, not as a cost. So you can discard any shadow monster and get the effect. So that's really cool. We are also playing obviously triple Necrofusion. Necrofusion is the main card that we want to play. By banishing materials from the graveyard face down, we can fusion summon a monster, but it cannot attack this turn. That's such. So you can make Winda with this, you can make Gay Dante with this, or you can make whatever fusion you want to make with this on your opponent's turn by using resources from your graveyard, which is really cool. Then of course we are playing triple trap trick. Search every trap we have here. Warning Point is a normal trap, which is better than Fog Bleed, of course. And the reason why Necrofusion instead of Shadow Schism is because Schism is a continuous trap, it's not a normal trap. So trap trick can search Necrofusion, so you are playing 6 copies of it basically. And finally, the only floodgate in the deck, which is a trap, is Skill Drain. Skill Drain is a very powerful card in Burning Abyss. It prevents your Burning Abyss monsters from dying, so you can summon a bunch of them and they don't die if they have a monster that's not a Burning Abyss. You lose the advantage of activating monster effects, but sincerely you want to turn off Winda for your turn, make something that you want to use, and continue with your plays. I mean, it's not that you cannot Dynamiscus, am I right? Worst case scenario is you can Dynamiscus your own Skill Drain if you really need to. But usually that don't happen because you have control from this thing. But that's going to be it for the normal deck, the main deck. And now we're going to go with the extra deck for you to check it out. Here we have the extra deck, folks. As you can see on top from here, I think it is. We have the number of monsters we're playing of each. So it's 2 fusion, 1 synchro, 4 exists, and 8 links. We're going to start with the 2 fusions, of course. We're playing Dante, Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss, and we're playing El Shadow Wind, of course. Dante, Pilgrim can discard a Burning Abyss monster and draw 1 card, and when destroyed, you can basically take out 1 card from your opponent's card and discard it. So really cool. Winda, I don't have to explain Winda and why you should play Winda. Also, I love this version of Pilgrim. It's just beautiful. This gold secret rare. Sorry, this gold rare is really beautiful in this card. The foiling in the text is really cool. I really liked it. Then we are playing 1 Virgil. Virgil, you can discard 1 Burning Abyss card and spin back 1 card on the field, on your opponent's field cards. And when destroyed, you can draw 1 card. Really cool, really nice. So for our 4 X's, we're playing 2 copies of Dante, Traveler of the Burning Abyss, the copy of Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal in gold rare. Look at it. This is the most beautiful card I have ever seen. The gold secret rare version of Beatrice. I really like this. And finally, Levier Air Sea Dragon. Sorry, the Sea Dragon. The Wind, I confused. So you may want to prefer Nightmare Cerberus over this, just because Cerberus discards. But Sea Dragon can summon one of your banished shadows, either by Allure of Darkness or by whatever the reason you banish a shadow monster. You can summon that back with Levier, so it's up to your choice. I prefer to play Cerberus, but here Sea Dragon is just a really cool card that I had to mention. So I will put this instead. The rest of the extra deck is up to you. I'm playing Shape of Nation, the best link for from Chain, the only one that they have. I played this because this just requires 2 monsters, including a link monster, easy to summon. Because Warlord and Borrowed Sword, which are not here, but I proxy them because Manuel still has my Warlord and Borrowed Sword. Require 3 monsters, and this only requires 2. So that's up to you how many beaters with 3k you want to play. I played 3 of them. Then obviously Nightmare Unicorn and Nightmare Phoenix. This is where I put probably Nightmare Cerberus, as I said, if you need discard folder. If not, you can stay with this, it's really just fine, it's up to you. Then IP Masquerena, that Shadow owes me an IP Masquerena. IP Masquerena going to Nightmare Unicorn, the most basic play, and the one that you want to finish your first turn with. And finally, for the rest of the links is 1 Cherubini, Ebon Angel of the Burning Abyss, because Burning Abyss is sent to the Graveyard Turbo. This can send a Shadow Hedgehog, so that's the reason why I played 3 of the level 3. And finally, Gravity Controller, which is plan B in case you have Seer and just another VA monster in hand. You summon Gravity Controller and go to Beatrice. so it's really just an alternative. For side deck, we have a copy of Starving Venom. You can probably find a space for 2 copies of it. I just want to play one here, and obviously we're playing 3 super polymerizations. Because not because Dragoon, but because there are some other things that we want to take out of the end board. And because we're playing Burning Abysses with one dark and making our proper Starving Venoms or whatever. So we're playing an artifact engine which requires artifact side, of course. 3 copies of artifact Lancia and the 2 copies of artifact Sanctum, which we can pop with 3 copies of Heavy Storm Duster, which is also a target for our trap trick if we really need it. So the little engine of artifacts, because we sometimes want to lock our opponent from the extra deck, because locking the opponent from the extra deck is really cool, and playing to lock your opponent from the extra deck game 3 probably, it's really cool, because there's no way you can make this in turn 1 so well. But yeah, playing 3 copies of Storm Duster is important, just because you want to ensure that you can pop your stuff and not depend on your opponent popping anything, or searching Sanctum or whatever. And also because side can be drawn, because it's also a Garnet, remember that. That's why we're playing Storm Duster, but it's also an out to Mystic Mine Turbo. And finally, the last 2 cards from the side deck are 2 copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance for those annoying pedal matches that we want to avoid. So that's going to make the full list. I'm going to show it to you quickly on Either Pro just to show you how it is made finally, and then show you a couple of replays probably, if I haven't already showed you the replays in between, so stay tuned. So this is a quick shot of the deck list full for those of you who didn't want to watch the video, and for those of you who watched the video, I want to thank you very much. And as such, we're going to watch a couple of replays quickly just to see what this does. Hey guys, editing from the deck here. I just wanted to mention that we are reaching the 18th minute mark, so we are going to leave this deck profile here, and what we're going to do is we are going to upload the replays on the Coalition of Scrubs channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description, so you can watch how this deck works. It's not going to be just narrated replays. What I'm going to do is actually narrate the live duels instead. I'm going to record the duels live, and then I'm going to just edit it, just cut out some parts, and show you what this deck can do. So it's probable that you can watch me rage quit if I allow it. But yeah, that's what we're going to do, because this video is already long enough. I want to thank everyone so much for watching all the YouTube stuff. Leave a like, leave a comment telling me what is the deck that you like the most, and what do you want to change from this deck, if there's anything that you want to change from this deck. And of course, we are going to see on the next one. Adios.